Thank you for joining us today for our Customer Intelligence webinar. I'm Kathleen Schindler, and I'm part of the product marketing team here at DataXu, and I'll be your moderator for this session. We have a great group dialed into our meeting already with folks representing brands and agencies. I know there's a lot of spectrum in terms of functions represented from analytics specialists to business development to media buyers. So just as a housekeeping note, we'll be recording this session, and we'll send you guys a link after our session via email so you can access it at a later time. I'm pleased to present to you a fantastic panel with our co-founder and SVP of Analytics and Innovation, Sandro Cantazaro, as well as Jessica Carnero and Whitney Jones, who are part of our product team and are focused on our analytics and insights offerings. I'll ask the three of them to say a quick intro. Sandro?
Thank you very much, Kathleen. I am Sandro Catanzaro, and I head the Analytics and Innovation teams here at DataXu. Part of the interest on doing this session and creating this product was to use digital media to understand better consumers. As we continue progressing the concept, we thought, okay, what about creating a product that doesn't require really to run any media, but just understands how consumers behave through websites and helps us understand the psychographic profile, the demographic profile of those consumers. More recently, we have been talking with many people at creative agencies, and there is a lot of interest in understanding better what type of people are they addressing and helping that think about creatives. With that, I pass it to Jessica.
Thanks, Sandro. Hi, everyone. This is Jessica Carnero, and I work on developing DataXu's analytics products. In particular, focusing on the self-serve analytics tools so that insights are more readily accessible to our customers. Believe it or not, but customer intelligence started out as a spreadsheet and PowerPoint-based analysis over a year ago now, and we have developed a platform to let customers like you access these insights in a more automated and dynamic fashion. So I'm looking forward to sharing the benefits of this tool with you today.
Thanks, Jessica. And I'm Whitney Jones, also part of our product management team. And I'm focused on helping our customers understand new ways to use data and technology and apply our self-service products to solve their business challenges.
Great. And now, as we start the presentation, I'd like to run through the agenda with you. So first up, we're going to cover our DataXu Intelligence Suite, and then how we actually put customer intelligence into action. And then we'll do a quick product demonstration. And finally, we'll let you know how to get started. We're also going to spend some time on question and answer because I know you guys probably will have questions pop up during the presentation. But I'd ask for you to actually type them into the question box and go to webinar, and we'll address those at the end of the session. So now I'd like to turn it over to Whitney to speak about our DataXu Intelligence Suite.
Thank you, Kathleen. So why are we here today? As marketers, our goal is to find insights that will enable us to build better relationships between brands and consumers. However, in today's digital world, we're all faced with juggling dozens of disparate data sources. Our time is spent reconciling fragmented data and trying to glean insights. As a technology platform sitting in the middle of the digital ecosystem, DataXu delivers marketers with tools to programmatically bring together a variety of high-value data sources into a single normalized hub. Additionally, with the DataXu Intelligence Suite, marketers have the focused views they need to translate data into the key insights that drive their business. Today, we want to introduce you all to the DataXu Intelligence Suite, which is a collection of reporting packages designed to help marketers leverage their marketing activities as research. Today, we're going to focus on Customer Intelligence Reporting Package. Customer Intelligence helps you find new, actionable insights about your customers and prospects simply by using your existing website data. So what are the benefits to you of the Customer Intelligence product? First of all, it helps you get to know your customers or validate the existing customer profiles that you have. This tool helps you overlay hundreds of demographic, psychographic, and behavioral attributes on top of your website data. You'll learn who's shopping for your products and which consumers make sense to invest in and which consumers ultimately won't convert. Building brands means generating engagement from the right consumer audience. However, traditionally, brands and agencies have been challenged to measure the impact of their advertising on shifting their customer mix, particularly on measuring it quickly and at scale. With customer intelligence, you'll be able to trend who's coming to your site and who's engaging with various products. If you're running online and offline efforts to help engage specific customers, this tool can help you measure overall success. Better data and more insights enable better planning and more productive marketing activities. Customer intelligence can help creative teams write more informed briefs. It can help brand teams understand the interests, product cross-sell opportunities, and partnership strategies that make sense for their consumers. And it can help media teams select the right contextual and data segments for targeting. Finally, with this self-serve tool, your teams will be able to get the focused answers they need in minutes, on demand when they need them. Setup is simple and can be accomplished within 2 weeks, providing speed to value. So how does customer intelligence work? Learning and insights start with consumers. What the DataXu platform allows you to do is aggregate and normalize multiple data sources, which together help paint the picture of who your customers really are and what drives their behavior. Starting with brand actions, the platform will help you understand which consumers are engaging with each of your products and each of the activities on your website. Using pixel tracking, the tool will build profiles of who's taking each action and who's researching product A versus who's buying product B. From there, the platform is integrated with tens of thousands of third-party data segments. And this can help you overlay deep demographic, psychographic, and behavioral attributes onto the consumers in each of your activity groups. Finally, because the DataXu system is constantly viewing impressions across the internet, the system can help you learn which types of consumers have affinity, which types of content consumers have affinity for, and which types of sites they're visiting when they're not on your site. Now I'm going to turn the presentation over to Jessica so she can showcase how brands and agencies have used customer intelligence to solve real marketing challenges.
Thanks, Whitney. So I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes or so reviewing the 4 use cases of customer intelligence data that Whitney just mentioned a few minutes ago. Because we want to show you that these are not just pretty charts, but that these are insights you can actually take action on. The examples you'll see are based on our work with advertisers who use the DataXu platform. In these examples, you will see static charts, but the tool itself is self-accessible and interactive. And we'll illustrate that after the case studies with a brief demo. So this first use case is to validate assumptions of who your customers are. We work with many advertisers, and the knowledge of their customers vary from brand to brand. Some advertisers know who their customers are better than others. But even those who know the profiles of their customer may only have a view at the brand level and not down to the product or feature level. The data that they have may also be limited based on information like registered users, and data may be months or quarters old. The benefit of DataXu customer intelligence is that brands can see customer profiles down to specific pages on their website continuously over time. So in this example, which is for a B2B brand, we looked at the age profile of one of their products. This brand did not do much online advertising when we started engaging with them, and they didn't have data on who their customers are, especially online. The brand thought that their customers online would be younger because they thought older people don't go online as much. So we looked at the age profile of consumers visiting their product page indexed against the age distribution of overall internet users. So what you're looking at on this slide are index values. You'll see this on the slides following as well. So let me explain how this number is calculated. For the index, we compare the composition of the brand audience to the overall internet average. So for example, if 10% of online consumers are 18 to 24-year-olds, but 20% of the brand consumers are 18 to 24, then the index would be 2x for this age group. So values greater than 1 indicate more likely against the internet population. And so on this chart, you see that for this particular brand, we found that consumers who are over 55 were more likely to be engaged with the brand product. So it turned out that their customers were older than what they thought, reinforcing their marketing investment in the online channel. So in this second use case, which is about changing brand perception, this is an important one because it illustrates that customer intelligence data is not just a one-time consumption type of report, but rather something that brands should use to monitor how their customers change over time. In this example, we had an auto manufacturer who was running both online and offline campaigns for a new vehicle launch. But they were having a hard time finding a tool to measure their marketing impact at scale on the brand holistically. So using customer intelligence, they were able to measure whether or not they were hitting their primary objective of changing the perception of the brand. Instead of small samples like survey data or focus group, they leveraged online visitation data and third-party data profiles to see if they were getting more consideration from higher-end consumers. They used Axiom financial segments, which groups consumers based on income profile, family composition, and financial product ownership. So they identified 3 groups in particular that they wanted to resonate with. And here you see them highlighted in green here. It's cash and careers, flush families, fortunes, and families. And using data exports, which is also available in the tool, they downloaded this data and created reports to monitor whether they were seeing more of these consumers visiting the vehicle page. So they wanted to see the circles that we're highlighting here move to the right to see that, to monitor that they were getting more visitors from these particular groups. Great. So now the third use case is something that will likely apply to most of you, which is that this data can be used to inform and tweak your marketing campaigns. So in this example, we had a consumer goods manufacturer who is new to e-commerce. Their product is traditionally purchased in stores. So they wanted to understand who was buying their product online compared to those buying offline. And using Blue Kai's household data, we saw that those who were purchasing online were more likely to be families with young children, so 5 years old and under. I mean, intuitively, this data makes sense because these families have a harder time going to the retail store with their young kids. And using this data, they were able to develop a campaign to build awareness for families with young children. So on the same topic, we thought it was worth spending a little bit more time to show another example of how to use the customer intelligence data to inform your overall marketing strategy. And this example is based on a set of data that has really resonated with our customers who use this tool. Because we all know that consumers are not spending all of their time online on your website, which is why we have marketing programs to drive traffic to the brand site. So what are they doing when they're not on your site? Leveraging site data that comes from the billions of ads that run through the DataXu system each month, we're able to answer that question for you. So this example is for a credit card company who wanted to understand where their card applicants are. So we looked at the type of content that their credit card applicants were visiting online. This chart shows the volume of card applicants on content channels, which is represented by the size of the box. So the larger the box, the more card applicants are visiting that content category. And the color of the box, the green and the red, represents the likelihood of finding those consumers in that content channel, with green being more likely and red being less likely. So for example, some categories like news and shopping are generally large categories. So the way we calculate the index is by comparing the percent of card applicants in a content channel compared to average consumers online. So for example, if 30% of consumers online spend their time on shopping sites compared to 45% for the card applicant group, then shopping would index at 1.5. So based on this data, what they found was that real estate, careers, and personal finance were the top 3 content channels where card applicants can be found. These are not high-volume content categories based on the size of the rectangles that you see here, but their spend in these channels would be more effective. And what's interesting here is that business content, which is traditionally targeted by financial companies, under indexes, but personal finance indexes highly. So this data helped the advertiser refine their overall online and offline publisher partnership strategy. Great. So in our last example here today, I want to walk you through, it's about operational efficiencies. And once you start using this data, I'm sure you'll find that there are many ways to gain operational efficiencies from this data. But in the limited time that we have today, I will show you this example for an auto dealership. This dealership has locations all across the country, and they wanted to understand how their regional dealers could better manage competitive brands, because they suspected that the list of competitors varied by geographic area. And using auto in-market data in the customer intelligence report, we saw that customers in the West Coast were more likely to be considering Lexus compared to Volvo for East Coast customers. And using this data, they were then able to go back to the regional dealers and develop a more informed conquesting strategy that was customized by region. So I'm now going to turn it over to Whitney so that she can show you the tool itself and how you would access it.
Thank you, Jessica. We'd now like to spend a few minutes showcasing how this tool is available directly within the DataXu user interface. We'll be going through a few examples using demonstration data. For those of you who have used our platform, the reporting screen should be fairly familiar. The Customer Intelligence Suite is available to our customers who decide to sign on for the product directly within the Intelligence tab. Once you access the Intelligence tab, customers are able to access the core reports from the Customer Intelligence product line simply by clicking on the report icons within the screen. While there are a couple of reporting options within the Customer Intelligence package, today we want to focus on walking through a few examples that tie back to the use cases that Jessica just walked through. First of all, we're going to dive into the Customer Profiles report. In this report, our customers are able to easily overlay demographic and psychographic data sets on top of the customer traffic to their website. This allows you to understand who's visiting your website and how visitors vary by product or by activity. We've loaded up a data set here. In this example, you'll see that there's a demonstration data set for a retailer selling both athletic footwear and sporting equipment. However, the segment options up on the left-hand corner are fully customizable and will be based on pixels placed directly on your advertiser's website. In this example, we're going to compare the age range of customers who show propensity to shop for athletic footwear versus sporting equipment. Simply by selecting the age bucket in segment filter, it's easy to overlay a variety of age segments on top of the website traffic to each athletic footwear content and sporting equipment content. Here we can see that those folks who are in the 18 to 24 age range are far more likely to be visiting athletic footwear than they are likely to be visiting sporting equipment. However, older consumers in the 55 to 64 age range show higher propensity to be shopping for sporting equipment than athletic footwear. It's easy to shift between various segment categories simply by clicking the links on the left-hand side. If we switch to education, we can see that folks with a graduate degree show far more propensity to be shopping for sporting equipment than athletic footwear. Next, we'll dive into a second reporting option, contextual insights, which helps you understand the content affinities for consumers shopping for various products on your website. This report, again, allows you to select which segments of your website you'd like to analyze, and then provides you with an overlay for the likelihood of consumers visiting each of these content areas to be visiting different types of content online. Here you can see that consumers who have added athletic footwear to cart, so therefore lower funnel footwear shoppers, are far more likely to be in technology and shopping content than they are likely to be on politics or hobby content. However, if we wanted to look at upper funnel shoppers, product page visitors, we may see a difference. Finally, we're going to take a look today at the Targeting Recommendations Report. This report is geared to help campaign planners identify in advance of running a campaign which data segments are likely to help them be most effective in driving specific outcomes. Once again, segment options at the top are fully customizable. So if the goal of your campaign is to drive more conversions on sporting equipment, this tool will allow you to identify which data segments, all available in the DataXu UI, are likely to index well for that objective, also providing the segment size. Segments can be curated by data vendor for easy analysis. Now I'm going to turn it over to Kathleen to wrap up the presentation.
Great. Thanks, Whitney. We're just quickly going to go back to our PowerPoint presentation, and I'll let you know how easy it is to get started with customer intelligence. So the first step is actually just to reach out to your sales representative, your account executive. And then after that, you'll be able to work directly with a member of the product or services team to help you set up the report and customize it to your needs. So for example, if you're an auto manufacturer, you might want to organize the report that Whitney just walked through by model type. And then the third step is once that grouping is done, the report will be available 15 days later. So it's just that easy. And now I'd like to open it up for questions. I see that a few have come through, but keep typing them in, and we'll go through some of them right now. So the first one up is, how is this product currently? How is this product actually different than what's currently offered in the market? And any of your questions can be directed at any of our panelists. So I'll probably turn this first one over to Whitney.
Thanks, Kathleen. There's a couple of key differentiators for this product versus some of the things that folks are using today to gather this type of information. First of all, this product is available self-serve and in real time. So once the activity groups are set up on your website and you've identified the products or activities you'd like to analyze, users from your brand or agency can log in at any time, 24 hours a day, and have on-demand access to information about their consumers. Also, versus a typical web analytics platform, the information available in the customer intelligence tool not only helps you understand how much of a certain activity is occurring on your website, but also helps you understand who is driving that activity, and potentially what types of behaviors are available for you to target in order to drive more of that activity, giving you a deeper and more well-rounded understanding of the engagement on your website.
Great. Thanks, Whitney. I think there's a more product-focused question, so I'll ask this one of Jessica. What is the information in the customer intelligence report being indexed on?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the way we do the index, as I explained at the beginning of the presentation, is we're comparing the composition of the brand audience compared to the overall internet that we see for that particular data type. So the easiest example to understand is age. So if we're using, let's say, the blue-collar age segment, we would look at the distribution of age groups for the blue-collar overall population. So let's say the example I gave earlier was, if 10% of consumers are 18 to 24 for the blue-collar data segment, compared to 20% of the brand audience is 18 to 24, the index would be 2. So we're just comparing the ratio of consumers for your audience compared to the overall market.
Great, and that's just based on a lot of our great relationships we have with the third-party data providers.
Correct. Yeah.
There's another question as well that goes to factoring in-store messaging. So does DataXu factor in-store messaging or offline sales data into this? And I'll give it to Whitney to answer.
Thanks, Kathleen. So a couple of folks can use the customer intelligence tool in a couple of ways to get towards answers around these questions. First of all, the tool provides the ability to trend over time. So as in-store messaging changes with seasonality, it's very easy to pull down changes in the profiles of customers visiting various sections of your website in month or bi-weekly chunks. Second of all, offline sales data is provided through some of our third-party data partners, which is actually available for use in the customer intelligence product. So offline sales data can be tapped into for the indexing against your customer segments.
Okay, great. I think the next one that we have is just a quick two-part question around product access and running the review report. So if we utilize customer intelligence, can there be multiple users of this? And are you guys going to run the reports for us, or is it something that we as a customer can easily access ourselves? So I'll ask Whitney to maybe take a stab at that one.
Sure. The customer intelligence product can be set up to be licensed to various users within an organization or within a brand as well as within their agency. Secondly, also, the product is self-serve. Therefore, it's easy for customers to log in and find answers to the questions or to work with their DataXu services partner to find the answers that they're looking for.
And then another question that's probably pretty basic, but do I need to run media to use this, Whitney?
You don't. This product can be used completely separate from the DataXu demand-side platform. The only requirement for this product to work is to have DataXu pixels placed on website activities. And that allows the system to start collecting the cookie IDs of the consumers who are visiting your various pages and activities and build out the profiles that we've viewed throughout this presentation.
And just to add on to that, though, one thing I do want to touch upon is we do have a suite of reports that looks at your audience for your media campaigns. So we will have a separate session in the months to come to review those reports as well.
So those are the questions that we have that you as our listeners have asked us. If there's any more, I might actually direct them to an email address that we can answer offline if you guys would like, and then we might wrap it up. So thank you guys for being a really great and attentive audience. We hope that you found this webinar useful, and like Jessica mentioned, we'll be doing more of these in the future. And if you have any feedback, please don't hesitate to reach out to Whitney Jones. Her email address is right there. And like as I mentioned, we'll be sending out a link to this webinar, so you'll have access to it later on. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Cheers.